Start straight from one of the publicly available templates below. Once you've got a new project started, you'll see that it's populated with some helpful tips and pointers. In the simplest sense, all you do with Easily is pick a theme, adjust the objects, and save your work. Right now, all of these pointers are actually objects in our workspace, and you'll see that when you click on them, you start to see the controls that allow you to adjust them. But we want to start totally fresh, so we can go up to this very top navigation menu and choose Clear from the Clear menu. Now we're really ready. The first thing I'll want to do is click Save and give my visual a name, Educast Demo. The Home and Open menus will be useful later. For now, let's look at the other menus and options we'll be using. The first is the Themes menu, which is really just a menu for selecting themes or templates, which Easily calls Themes, visual themes. You can preview the themes by clicking on them. These give you a good sense of some of the different ways you might use infographics. When you choose one you want to use as a starting place for your work, you simply drag it onto this area. For this demo, I'm going to use one on world oil consumption. Now this theme is easy to demonstrate because it already has so much info. For your own work, you'll probably choose something a little more open-ended since you'll be providing the information yourself. If I start clicking around the theme, you'll see that pretty much everything is editable and that it is comprised of a background, objects, and text, and that these elements correspond to the menus. In the Objects menu, there are lots of objects I can add to my project in a variety of categories, just by selecting and dragging. From the Backgrounds menu, I can select and drag to change the background of my project. If I was starting from scratch, I could also change the orientation of my project here by selecting a different orientation and then dragging a background down. Shapes are similar to objects but are more basic in their designs. Text lets me add text to my project by choosing title, header, or body and dragging it into the work area. I can also use the Upload menu to upload and work with my own images or graphics, though for now we're just going to stick with built-in objects. You can also zoom in and out on your work area, turn on a grid to help with layout and alignment, or use the Undo button. The next steps, and where the work really happens, is how you edit, arrange, and choose the objects and text elements you're working with. Basically, you can click any element and drag it around to change its position. You can click and drag at the corners to change scale, and you can click and drag at the top point here to change rotation. This goes for objects and text alike. When you have an object selected, you also get some other tools that pop up here that let you delete the item, lock it in place, or duplicate it. You can also just hit the delete key to get rid of an item you've selected. These buttons here have to do with position. This can be important if you're assembling elements on top of each other, as you probably will. You have to think of them as a stack, with some on top and some on the bottom. These buttons let you move them up or down in that stack, or bring them to the top or send them to the bottom. You can also change the opacity of an object with this slider, making it look more solid or transparent, creating different effects and results depending on the arrangement of your elements. Text elements behave in pretty much the same way, but with added choices about text style here, as well as font and size here. That's pretty much it. You just want to make sure to save your work as you go, and then when you're done, return to the Home menu to view and share your work. Simply click this button, and then you'll get choices about downloading your work as an image, viewing it in the browser, sharing the link, or the embed code if you wanted to put it into another site. Now that you know how the tool works, it's up to you to get creative about translating the information that you want to share into an interesting visual composition that really tells the story and makes the point that you want to convey. Remember to plan out your goals, be clear about what's important to share, and then choose a visual style that fits with the subject area and audience you want to reach.